I would like to talk about Haruki Murakami again because I think because his fictions are very popular, and I was cruising around. Many people, have reviews of Haruki Murakami's and so forth, and I realized that one of my most favorite book, which is 1Q84. I didn't see many review of 1Q84, so I like to do this. This book is a huge book, as you see, big book and huge book, and it's a beautiful book, and you can see, like this. And in Japan, it came out like a 3-volume set, and I don't know why they do that. I think much easier to carry around, but they publish those 3-volume sets one by one. It's not at the same time, and so people has to wait and so forth. Kind of strange to me, but this in America you get this one book, big volume, and I'm glad that I got this copy of the beautiful used book. This is a used book, and I love this book. So I think when I read this, I felt this is very romantic. One of the most romantic fictions I ever read, and the relationship this young girl and young boy starts from early on, and then they have a tremendous gap in time, and they kind of are connected by this, strange telepathy or something like that in other people's term. It's a fantasy, right? Okay, so it's about this a girl growing up and become very attractive woman, very attractive to me. I'm an old man, but thinking of me as a young boy, to look at her, she's very attractive, and I think of very skinny and like a fashion model type of body, but it's very, very smart, and she could do whatever she has to do very easily, and so that's fascinating. And the tango, which is her name is Aomame. Aomame means in Japanese it's the pea, right? The Ao means blue, and the green, so green. Mame means peas, green peas. I don't know why he chose that particular name, Aomame, for this girl. The boy's name is Tango. Tango is like probably like a more like an intellectual, struggling, maybe writer or some sorts. And he writes, and he has a father, and the father's him relationship a little bit in there, and which is nice. I would say it's nice. But there's a third character in there, which is like a dowager, which who is a very she's an older woman. She's rich and involved in some kind of circumstances, and Mame especially tangled with her and so forth. And but anyway, so story progress without any fantasy. I don't think there's no fantasy, but one fantasy that I don't understand even today, why it's there and what that means. Something like little small creatures, like 5 or 6 or 7, like Snow White. Those the little guy comes up and it's just like that. And I thought that was a little bit annoying to me, because I didn't understand why they are there and what's the meaning of this small people to that whole scheme, and I don't understand. Even today, I don't understand. But I forget about that. It's that's set aside. I think it's a whole story. It's very very nice and very readable. I started. I'll tell you an interesting story. I started listening. I didn't read this book, even though I bought after I read the book, right? Okay. I started with the audio CD in the car, driving a car, and I started to listen to this particular fiction, and I was hooked. So I don't know, maybe I have a 45 minutes drive, go to work, and 45 minutes coming home, and I did that like 3 days or something, and then I couldn't wait. So I sat down at home weekend, I think, and I listened to the whole thing. I don't know, 3 or 4 hours time, I would say. And thoroughly, I was sitting down. In Japanese, there's expressions called seiza. Seiza means you sit down on the tatami mat, right? And the seiza means you have a proper way of sitting down. Your legs are folded downwards, and it's kind of uncomfortable if you're not used to it. And you sit, and whenever you have a meeting or something on a Japanese traditional tatami room, you sit like that. And so I was literally, listening the CD. I have to sit down in that way. That's a metaphor, but I didn't really sit down like that. But I felt like I have to listen to this more seriously, and it's worthwhile to sit seriously. So that's why 100% attention to this fiction, and that's one of the reasons maybe I enjoyed it tremendously. But at the same time, I have this, those small peoples like all over the place playing around. I don't like that, so I'm a little bit criticism toward that particular things. And but overall, it's very romantic, and I thought one of the most romantic fiction I ever read. Even though Haruki Murakami, you never associate with a romantic feeling, yeah. So I like this one. I rate this particular book very high. Wound Up Bird Corridor is, I think, the best probably, and Norwegian Wood is maybe high up there. Kafka on the Shore is like a middle ground, and lately like King Commendatore, after that, and the other fictions like Sputnik Lovers. That's also, for me, it's kind of high up. I think the other thing is the Dance, and I have a little bit here. The south of border, west of the sun. All these things. It's very enjoyable. So that's also coming. Not the top, but middle to a little bit lower. So this one, I would say second or third. Second, probably. And this one, it doesn't have much depth. I don't think it doesn't have much depth. It's just a romantic fiction that you cannot get off, and so for other people, I understand this one doesn't go to the top or near the top, but for me, from my own experience of reading this, I think about it, and still this is very high for me. So that's my few cents today. Okay, thank you.